cause that murder for a man's life, for a dog's life, for a multiple
go, huh? Yeah. I called because you called me. I tried the what do you call it? Yeah. I sent I asked you what you were doing. I can't hear you. Can you go somewhere? Go somewhere where I can hear you.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi. How is everybody today?
Good, thanks.
Awesome. Oh, I love that accent we got going on there. I bet you that's an East Coaster.
What accent?
Oh, look at this. All my friends on here. Hi, Rhoda. Rhoda and I are Cadillac March buddies, getting our picture taken.
Hey, baby girl.
Hey, how's it going?
Awesome. Loving these calls.
Me too. I love that we can connect with people that are all over Canada. That's just, to me, that's just the coolest thing. I think that's one of the things I appreciate most about COVID is I feel like it's shrunk our community so that we can actually have more interaction between those who don't live as close. So it's definitely, hey, my Rosemary's on here too. And she lives in St. Gregoire and Brunswick. So that's awesome. We're going to wait a couple of minutes to let everybody get on here, but I'm super excited to be here today. And I have to show you what I got in the mail today. I got my new sweatshirt and it says empowered women, empower women. And I don't know, I just saw that and one of my friends from one of the conferences I was a part of had one and it's actually a fundraiser from a company called Blonde Ambition. And they give back. A portion of the sales go to animal rescue and Rowan House Emergency Shelter to help with domestic violence. So I'm like, I'm all about that and a cute sweatshirt. So it's pretty awesome. All right, this is awesome to have all of you here. It is 5:30, so I am going to get started because I'm super excited about this topic. I'm talking to you tonight about DISC personalities and personality types and all that sort of thing. And I find this extremely interesting. I love when we get to like just learn more, not only about myself, but also about how to interact with people. So there's a lot of different personality things. There's a lot of information that you can learn from different tests, from different methods, from different systems. I mean, as soon as we mentioned this, Carol started telling us about this one and this one that she's studied, and I think it's awesome. And I think that I'm not going to say that one is better than the other, but I think why it's important to study up on things like this is it's going to help you be a better communicator. Okay, so if I had to like kind of tell you why I think it's important that you study up on personality types and how different personality types respond to different things, I would probably say there is like 6 or 7 things that make this an important thing for you to learn as a skill. And what I really love about this is this impacts your Mary Kay business, yes. But more importantly, this can impact your family life. It can impact the way that you communicate with people that you know, with people that you're meeting for the first time, how you interact at your other job, all of that when you have a better understanding. So I guess the most important thing for a reason to be studying personality types and learning about how other people's minds work, the most important thing is that every single person needs to feel heard and needs to feel connected with. And so if you can speak in that person's language according to personality type, you're going to have them feel heard. So that's going to make them feel important. And what did Mary Kay always say? Just pretend that everybody's wearing a sign that said, make me feel important. And it's also going to have them feel connected to you. Because wouldn't you agree that if someone you feel is truly listening to you and hearing what you say and affirming you, you feel connected to that person, you want to be in that person's space, right? So it's going to help you with connection. The second thing is people need to feel comfortable. And people are most comfortable when they're in a place that they know. So as far as personality types, if you are able to determine what they are and give them what they need in that conversation, as far as communicating with them the way they know to be normal, you're going to also have a deeper connection really quickly. I guess the thing that gave me the most, like why I loved studying this for the first time the most is because I more clearly understood why others communicate the way they do, or why they act the way they do, or why their priorities are the way they are. and not that they're just trying to be a jerk. You know, when someone's completely different to you and you're like, what the heck? Like, oh, don't really like them. But when you understand that it's just their personality type, you can give them a little more grace, right? And it's not that you're thinking that they're kind of a weird or bad person. It's just the way their mind works. And so you respect that. All right. So you can't get mad at a German for speaking German, you know? So if you're dealing with, say, like a strong D personality that you kind of find is like a little bit rougher on the edges for you, it's not that they're a bad person. It's just that that's the way they communicate, or that's how they are. So the fourth thing I think is important for learning this is when you know personalities and you know what you are. So we're going to study on 4 today. You're going to be more high in 2 of them, generally, is what we find. When I'm looking, for example, for office help, I look for people that are opposite of me, because you want people that are strong in the areas where you're not. So my office assistant, the beautiful Jennifer Mainland, is very strong in the areas that I'm not. And so that makes us a really good rock star team, because we're not fighting for the same job, right? Like, she is very happy to do like cutesy flyers and make them look all like nice and all these details, and I'm like, let me talk to people, right? So we get along really well. It's also really good when you know what your personality is and you're looking for the opposite when it comes to building your team with Mary Kay, or when you're like as a director, we're delegating different jobs at meetings and stuff. I'm looking for a type. Like if I'm having someone sit at the door and collect the cash, I want someone who's detail oriented and keeps good records. That's not my job, because I just want to hug people as they come in and tell them how awesome they are and how happy I am to see them, right? So if you can put the people where they're strong, they're empowered, right? And so that it's gonna make them feel better. It's gonna have the event run better, things like that. It's also good, if I could say, my 5th reason for studying up on personalities and where you are and what others are like, and being able to, you know, sort of categorize people, not that you put them in a box, but just so you understand them, is that when you need perspective, you can phone someone who's different than you. Because don't you find that sometimes you get caught up in, like, we can get easily offended, right? And you can get caught up in, well, why would they even think that? That makes no sense. Where I have a couple of my director friends who I'll phone and say, okay, I think I need you to give me some perspective in the C personality, D, because I'm thinking about this and getting all emotional and weird, and I think I need you to like ground me. So when you know what you are and you know what others are, you can go to them for perspective, and it helps you have a better, more wide range of perspective so that you can better communicate with others. And the number 6 thing is, I think the reason I like this is because you can really see yourself growing when you study stuff like this. So for example, when I started in Mary Kay, I was very high I personality, someone who always like to have fun and talks a lot, blah, 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 all over the place and all that sort of thing. And it was all about fun and yeah, all that. And then the longer I'm here, the more balanced I get, so that I can relate better to all personalities, and I'm not such a gong show. You know, I am more structured now. I have really good office systems. I'm very much more organized. I know what I'm looking for and all that. And it's made me a more balanced person. So when you're studying this, you can see your own personal growth happening. And that can be a really, really good thing. Okay. So I mentioned that we're going to be studying the DISC personality traits. I'm going to post the test after this. And so you guys can go through and do this. So I've got some rules when it comes to the test. Because generally I give people the test before we learn any of them, because I find that if you're like, oh, I want to be an I personality, you're going to look and take the test with I's so that you can rank high in that. And that's not really doing yourself any favors, right? So normally I would tell you take the test first, but that would waste a lot of our time. And I want to get into the talking more about it. So I'm going to put the test up on my page, and then the other directors will share on their pages. We can grab those out, and I want you to take the test. So how the test works is the test gives you 4 words. There's a whole bunch of them, sets of 4 words, And you go and read those 4 words, and the one that you most connect with, you circle, and the one that you find is the most different from you, you also fill in. Okay, and so then at the end, it's going to show you what your balance is. Okay, so I'm going to give you the test. So when you take the test, I want you to like turn it all off as far as your what you want to be in the personality types. And I want you to actually just, okay, this sounds most like me, this sounds least like me, and not over analyze. So 2 of the personalities are going to look at this and think, well, in this situation, I would say this. And in this, don't do that. It's got to be first instinct, what I'm most like, what I'm least like. Okay. And then it's going to be able to give you an idea of what you are. So how many of you have ever, that I can see, how many of you have ever done the DISC personality test before? From what I can see, not too many of you. Okay, so if you have never done it before, this is cool. If you have done it before, this is cool. Because if you haven't done it before, you're going to learn, okay, this is what this is all about, and this is where I am. And if you have done it before, it's like, oh, I haven't done that for a couple of years, and look at me go. I'm all different than I used to be. Look at me learning about life. So either way, it's a good thing to just sort of check in on, okay? So, okay. DISC, those are the 4 DISC temperament or personality model. And it's a human behavior that's described in 4 basic temperament types. So D is the first one, and we're going to talk about D first. Okay, D are direct people, and they're fast paced. So I'm going to give you the Ange slang on this. And it is meant to be humorous. So please, nobody take offense because it just, in my mind, this is how my mind works. If it's funny, I'll remember, okay? So D people are kind of like very direct, kind of those, I wonder if I can say this, kind of like maybe bitches, kind of, because they're very direct and they know what they want. And they kind of like are a steamroller. Like if you had someone who was like ultimate D, they would be like, they know what they want. They know how to get it. They're not looking at, they don't care if they hurt feelings. They're going for the goal. Whoever's in the way, that's, you know, they might get swathed over. That's just how it is. But that is an extreme D. But the basic thing that for a D personality is they like to be in charge. They like control, but they also want a challenge. They don't want to be bored. Okay. They like the D personalities they don't want to be controlled. So they would like Mary Kay because we set our own hours, right? D people would like Mary Kay because you can, run this race at your own pace. So if you want to move up the career path, you don't have to wait for anybody. You just do your thing and go and do it. That's what the D personalities like. D personalities don't want it to be the same every day. They like variation, and they want opportunities for advancement. So that's where D personalities are those women that will come into Mary Kay and they'll be like, oh, what? Red jacket? Okay, boom, done. Oh, what? Director suit? Okay, boom, done. What do I got to do? What's the rules? What do I have to do? And how quick can I get there? That is like a direct person. They're like D personalities. They want the story quick. They don't want a lot of details. They don't want to know how to get there and why they want that. They just want to know, what do I have to do? And how long can how quickly can I get it done? They don't want all the flowery details. Okay. Sometimes D personalities, the thing that I would say what they would probably need to learn is that you need people and that relationships are important. Because D personalities are direct, they're task oriented, and they like control. They're more extroverted, and they're going for it. So they need to learn that, people and relationships can be important, and that relaxing isn't a crime. It doesn't always have to be, well, what's next? What's next? What's next? Right? That self-control is important, and that's being a little more sensitive. Okay, so you can see how you probably someone came to mind right now that was like, yeah, sometimes she's kind of mean because she just sort of says it how it is, and she doesn't really care how it feels, but if she feels it needs to be said, she says it, and it can sometimes hurt my feelings. Okay, so D people are kind of like that. But a D person is someone who you want to have in control. If stuff goes wrong and you need someone to step in and take control and get the problem fixed, you're looking for a D person because you know that they're going to get the job done. Okay, so D can stand for director because usually directors like to be in charge. We like to, you know, have variation. We like a flexible schedule, you know, so somebody who's got some D in them usually does well as a director, or wants to be one for sure. Okay, does that make sense? That's just kind of the scoop on Ds. Next one is I personalities. Oh, sorry, I'm going to give you just a brief. So if you can write anything down about D, it would be that a D person places emphasis on accomplishing results, the bottom line, and confidence. Okay. Emphasis on accomplishing results, the bottom line, and confidence. So when you think of people who own these big, huge corporations and companies, you can see how that would serve them well, correct? All right. These people are known as influencers. Influencers who are very fast-paced, lots of energy, usually very busy. These are your party people. We have Carol Thompson, who is an I personality. She loves to have fun. She loves to be with people. She loves all of that sort of thing. When I started this, I was all about being I. In the influencers, the I's, they place emphasis on influencing or persuading others. So they're like, come over to my place. We're having a fire. You should come over. Bring your friends. The more the merrier, right? They want to do all of that sort of thing. They're the ones. So when you're, as a Mary Kay consultant, when you're looking to have a hostess for a skincare party, your I's are ones, your D's and your I's are going to get the job done. The D's are going to be like, yeah, be in my house Friday, 7. I don't know what you need to bring, just come. They don't have details. They just know what they want because they know that the hostess plan is going to get them free products, so they want them there. The I's are like, okay, come on over. It's girls' night. We're going to have so much fun. If you want, you can dress up. We'll have a theme. And you know, they want to make everything really super fun. Okay. I people are, they're enthusiastic. They're optimistic. They like to collaborate. They don't want to be ignored, but they're kind of like a hummingbird. They easily get bored. This is me, and I know this. It's like, okay, I've been doing this task now for 3.5 minutes. Okay, what's next? What else is fun? Shiny things, you know? And it's kind of bad that my office is at the front of my house because a car drives by and it's like, ooh, pretty red car. You know, like, and that's an I personality, just kind of, you know, out there and easily distracted in some ways. All right. The basic motivation for I personalities is recognition and approval, right? They're people, so they want to have fun, so they want everybody to like them. They also like getting the prize, right? So they're the ones who are going to work to gain the prizes. So if you're working with an I personality hostess, you're going to make sure that you tell them what they can do to earn free things. Saying to an I personality hostess, oh my goodness, well, actually, this is more of a D personality. It'd be like, do you want to set the record to have the biggest skincare Zoom class we've ever had? So the D personality would be like, can you set the record? And they'd be like, oh, record? I can do that. If with an I personality, it'd be like, would you like to see if you can have the biggest skincare class ever? Because you'll get so much for free and it'll be so much more fun when we have more people. And they'd be like, oh, fun, prizes? You know, that's kind of how the difference in that works. I personality is someone who wants to have fun in everything. So they want a leader who is gathering people and creating events and doing all that sort of thing. The one thing that an I personality does need to learn, though, is that time needs to be managed. I personalities are probably the ones who are going to leave the party last, every party last, because they don't want to miss out on a thing. I personality also would need to learn to like listen a little more. because they're usually the chatty ones who want to, be heard and talk and create the fun and talk. And sometimes they talk over the slower paced personalities, the ones who need more time to settle into ideas and things like that. So sometimes they can take over. So an I personality can be lots of fun, but she can also get a little annoying because she can, if you're an extreme I, sort of take over. Okay. So your I personalities are really great ones. So say you're at a unit meeting and you want someone to open the night who's going to create the fun and the excitement and get things rolling, your I personality is the one you want to do that, because she is going to be like, oh my gosh, who's here? Who wants to have fun? Who wants to win something? Like, that's your I. She's like capturing the crowd. She's getting everybody on board. She's kind of getting everybody in the right thing. So your hostesses, your I personality hostesses, are going to have the biggest turnout. Okay. Let's talk about the next one, and that is our S's. Our S stands for steadiness. So an S personality places emphasis on cooperation, sincerity, and dependability. So the D's and the I's work fast-paced, fast talkers, quick to make decisions, quick to act. The S and the C are not. They don't like to be rushed. They don't like change. They like to know what's coming. They like to know where things are at, and they like to have time to make decisions and things. So usually you'll find, and I did it without even meaning to, usually you will find the S personalities, they will slow down their speed of talking, their rate of speech. They'll probably lower the volume. They're the ones who are going to make you feel completely loved. They love the death out of you. They like for everybody to like them. They want things calm and peaceful. Usually S personalities are very, very family oriented. And so if there's not peace at home, it's hard for them to, function. They want that stable, steady. They're usually a little more shy, submissive, right? These are your gals who are going to be with you until the end of time. When an S personality loves you, they will stick with you. They will support you. If they're one of your customers and you are having a sale because you're having a big, goal coming up, they will phone you and love on you and tell you how much they believe in you. Or they'll tell you they believe in you and they would like to buy something to help you with your goal. Right? They're not going to be all like flamboyant about it, but they're definitely steady people. They like security and consistency and familiar environments. All right. So S personalities aren't the ones that you're going to phone half an hour before the event to see if they can quickly come and be one of your guests. They're not going to do that. The I's are like, oh yeah, I'll be there, right? And they'll probably get lost on the way and forget to ask you what the address is or even what hotel. They'll just get in the car and start driving. The S's would need at least a week's notice because they would want to make sure that they got everything settled at home and that the kids are taken care of and that the snacks are packed for the school lunch the next day before they leave, and just keep everything steady. S's really want people to feel loved completely all the time. So they never want to disagree. I think of one of my director friends who's a full S, and she's the one, if we have guest events, she absolutely hates doing the draws because she doesn't want anybody to go without getting a prize. She wants everybody there to feel included and loved and everybody get a prize. And it just breaks her heart when she has to actually say, especially if there's like two people left and one of them wouldn't win and they would have to go sit down. An S personality would almost die for that because it would just make her heart break that those people weren't included. I guess so an S personality wants someone to lead them who's relaxed and friendly. Okay. So as a S personality, as a hostess, or like if she was your hostess, she would want you to be relaxed, friendly. She wouldn't want, big things surprised on her. So she would want to know in advance how things are going to go. She would want just that support and security. What S personalities need to learn, and that is the total support, total complete 100% support is not always possible. The deadlines must be met. Very slow moving. So it's like, okay, well, I just wouldn't want anyone to feel left out. So we'll just wait until she's ready and then move along, right? As personalities are going to love you to death, but they're probably not the ones who are going to get to the goal first. Okay. They're optimistic and they're consistent and will stick with you for the long term. Okay. That's our S's. Then our C's. Okay, so I said I was gonna do the slang. So D's are kind of like our bitches. I's are kind of like our airheads because they're like, ah, like kind of a gong show. S's can come across as like they're so loving and almost that they could be a bit of a doormat because they just want everyone to love them. They wouldn't speak up for themselves. And then our C's are our cautious people. Okay. C's are critical thinkers. I'm not a C. I have a hard time with this because C's are very detail oriented. And details make me tired. I do not want to worry about details. C personalities are cautious. They're competent. They're compliant, they're the rule followers, they're careful, and they're contemplative. So they're going to think it all through in every scenario that can come up before any action is put into place. Their basic motivation is that they want quality and they want it to be done right. So quality and correctness. They're very conscientious. Conscientiousness is big, and their emphasis, again, quality, accuracy, expertise, competence. So your C personalities are the girls at the skincare class who are like, what are the top 6 ingredients in the replenishing serum plus C, and how does that affect your skin over the long term? Right? And you're like, okay, so this I personality is like, I don't know, it just smells good, feels good. That's why I use it, right? And so that's not going to be enough for her. Right? She's going to be like, oh, she doesn't know anything, you know, so she wants more detail. My C personalities, I've got a couple of the gals in my unit and I love them because that's who I send the newsletter to before it's completely published, because they'll tell me which punctuation errors I've made. They will tell me, you know, if I doubled up a word, if my spacing wasn't right. They're the ones who pick up the mistakes. Their brain works for that. They look for that. They want that. They want detail. So if you're having your hostess is a C personality, A, you're going to have to book her well in advance. B, she's going to want to know what you expect and what the class should look like. So if she says how many people should be there and you say, oh, anywhere between 4 and 10, not a good answer. She wants to know exactly how many people should be there. She wants to know where this is going to be held. She wants to know what products you're going to be covered, because she feels that if someone asks a question about the skincare class, she needs to have all the answers. C personalities that don't know the answer don't do well. They want to have, because they feel like they look silly if they don't know the answer when the question is asked. So they're the ones who, if they join your team, they feel like they need to know everything about Mary Kay before they start working their business. Is that possible? No. So C personalities have to be coached along with that. They want clearly defined tasks. So if you say, okay, we're going to have your skincare party, and I would, if you do really well, you'll get some free product. And they'll be like, what does do really well mean? How much free product? And when can I expect for you to drop it off? Like, they want all those details. Okay. C personalities are great. These are the girls, like I said, you want sitting at the door of your meeting, collecting the cash. These are the girls that would be really good if you wanted to teach on weekly accomplishment sheets and how to fill them out. Your C personality will know exactly how to do it. They're a little bit more slow moving because they're so detail oriented. But everything that they do is going to be done right. All right. The C personality is going to have to learn that deadlines must be met, and that they should be more optimistic, which will lead to greater success. So C personalities are the ones that are kind of looking for the problem in the situation, for things that aren't done right. So sometimes you can feel like they're a little more critical, which you can feel, so me being more I'm like opposite end of the spectrum. So when a C is questioning me, I can easily be offended because I feel like she's pointing out everything that I'm doing wrong, and I just want her to like me, and why is she asking all these questions, and she's just so negative, right? So that is the difference. And so you can probably see easily, there's certain like different personalities in your life of other people. You're like, oh yeah, that's why she's like that. She's not just trying to be mean to me. She's just detail oriented. Interesting, right? You also might see parts of your personality that are different. So in certain things, I'm very I like to be social. But there's other times where I like the security. I like the more slow moving, the S personality comes out of me. The D, I like to get things done. I like things organized. But then there is a part of me that's C, because I'm the girl who has everything in my pantry in containers, all labeled. My spices are alphabetical. Everything has a label. Everything needs to be in place. If it's not in place, I feel anxious. I just want things. I want to know where things are at all times. And so everything needs to be organized. I can't go to bed with a messy kitchen. I'm one of those. If I know the kitchen is messy, I don't sleep as well.
I invite friends to my house to clean my kitchen.
When we get home from a trip, I have to have everything unpacked and the wash started within an hour, or I feel like things aren't. Oh, Trinity's like, yeah, that's me too. So parts of me are C. When it comes to my house, I like that. When it comes to my relationships, I'm more I and S. When it comes to making money, I'm more D. So you can see how you can pick out the good things in all of the different personalities to really create a successful person in you, and to be able to, nail your business out. All right. So one of the most important things with knowing this sort of stuff, and I would highly encourage you, because I just gave you a total like overview, right? I would highly encourage you to go and actually study more into this, because this is going to make you better at Mary Kay. All right. One of the things for sure that you want to make sure that you're doing when you know the different personalities is you want to be able to talk to that person in their dominant personality style. Okay, so you can usually tell. So say let's say you're doing booking calls, and you pick up the phone, and hi Dorothy, it's Angie, and she's like, hi Angie. Right away you hear quiet, slower talker, maybe a C or an S. So right away, my volume and my rate of speech lowers so that you can be where she's at, so that she is in the most normal, how she feels normal. She can feel heard. She can feel related to. If say she is, it's Lori, and say she's not a C personality, but say she is a C personality. And I phone, I'm like, hey Lori, hi, it's Angie, how are you? I got your name from here, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, oh, you're scaring her, because first of all, you're talking way too fast, too loud. She didn't actually pick up where you got her name from. So where did she get your name from, and where did she get your number from? And is she a scammer? And her head's going that way, like, like all of that. Whereas if I phone and say, hi Lori, this is Angie Klotz with Mary Kay Cosmetics. I got your name from the bridal show that you attended last week with the draw that you entered. She's like, okay, I got the details I need. I feel confident in this woman, right? So it starts, knowing personality types starts right from the very initial contact that you have with them. All right. C and D personalities, they don't like a lot of physical touch generally. So if you're, say, like when I'm at work in bridal shows, I'm out in front of the table, and sometimes when people are coming up and you're kind of relating to them, and I'll be like, hey, you kind of put your hand like on their arm or whatever. You do that to a C personality, and she's like, ew, she touched me, right? Like she doesn't necessarily want that. Where eyes, before they leave the table, they're probably hugging on you twice. It's just, there's different physical contact levels, and you get to learn that so that you can interact with people the best way, so that they feel connected, they feel heard, they feel respected, and they feel like you're speaking their language. It's just going to make you a better consultant overall. It is so fun. I know when I first started in Mary Kay, and people would be like, oh yeah, she's quite the D. And I'd be like, what does that mean, D? It's like, I heard people say, oh, she's quite a B. And I knew what that meant. But what a D mean? And it was like, as a new consultant in Mary Kay, I was almost like, I didn't know the lingo. And so learning this is going to help you be able to better analyze people right away. If you're someone, and this group is called Moving On Up. So I'm assuming that some of the people on here are looking to move on up. You're going to want to know the different parts of personality, so that you are looking for your next red jacket, your next recruit, your next, people builder. So if you're looking to someone become a director, you're looking for D's and I's, because you're looking for people who know how to gather people. You're looking for people who can get on board. You look for people who are making quick decisions. You're looking for people who can get the job done. Barbara Sundin, she always said that she was always looking for D personalities, because she knew that they would get the job done. And I really like recruiting all 4 personality types, because then you have your ones that are, very consistent. They're gonna, be there for the meetings. They're probably, some of them are gonna love on you no matter what you do, and they're gonna encourage you. Some of them are gonna add the fun, to your team. Some of them are going to be, your go-getters, and they're gonna be the ones who break belief barriers, because you're like, what? You just accomplished that? Oh my gosh. So knowing the different personality types is gonna be able to have you hone in on what you're looking for, and being able to see people. I think the best thing though is that people don't annoy you so much when you study this, because you realize that they're not just trying to be weird. That's just how they're wired. So when you can speak their language, they feel heard, they feel understood. You're understanding that they're not trying to be bad. That's just how they are. Love them for where they're at. And it makes you a little bit more, have more grace. Okay. All right. I'm going to, for a minute, stop here to find out if anybody has any questions, and to check the chat here. Have I said anything? Vanessa's IDSC. Yes. C are the gals that love all the info on Untouch. Too many D's in the room is not a good idea. That's right. Too many I's and it is a party. Yes. All right. So if anybody has any question, you can unmute and ask, or put it in the post.
Is there a book on this?
I don't have a book on this. I actually gathered, I have a couple files in my filing cabinet. You know what? Surprisingly enough, this girl keeps some paper, not very much, but that's where I got it from. But you can just Google the DISC personality traits. And get more information on that. There's tons.
Thank you.
And it can be, some of them are actually specific for, looking for a job, so they'll say, for example, a D personality is someone to organize and lead ministries, teams, or committees. They commit to a specific challenge. They teach, they plan. I people are public speakers. They're in drama, social committees, greeters, counselors, encouragers. S people are, they encourage, they're good in offices, working, with people, records, maintenance, grounds, helping, leading groups. And C personalities, these are your financial people. You guys want these guys taking care of the finances, long range planning, organizing. So I laugh because this helps me with my own kids. My youngest is quite social. She likes people, but she also likes to be very organized. Her room's always tidy. She's always got everything organized in this place, all that sort of stuff. My son, he is also a people person. My third, he loves to be with people. He loves social. He doesn't like a clean room, but maybe that's just a boy thing. But he's the one who likes to include people and things like that. My daughter Taya, she's a self-proclaimed, she does not want to hang out with people. Like when she just graduated, we were trying to decide, where should she go? She's like, I want a job where I don't have to like be with people and be nice and stuff. So she's a more DC. She likes details. She likes to know what's expected. She's very perfectionist. She wants that done. And my oldest likes people. It's funny, social, but also likes to know what the rules are and know what's coming. Doesn't like change, like doesn't want a quick change on things. So, it's just kind of cool to see the different personalities that come out of the same gene pool. It's pretty fantastic. So what do you need to know as a Mary Kay consultant as far as personality types? You want to know your own, because it's going to help you make yourself realize that you're not weird or bad. So if you're like me, sometimes I beat myself up because I'm like, why do I have 12 things started and nothing finished? Because the I personality in me gets bored. And so I have to I have to set myself up for that. I like to be moving around. So me sitting and at my desk all day will not happen. Even if I can have my AirPods in and be talking but moving, I'm okay with that, right? So what you are, then you don't feel like there's anything wrong with you. If you're a C personality and you're wanting details and you want to know how this works and why this works and all the things behind it, you don't get frustrated when people are like, well, why do you need to know that? Because you realize that's part of who you are. If you're an S personality, you'll understand why you need to know that you've got security, that you've got things taken care of. You're going to be the one who's out there sort of looking, to include everybody and not want to leave anybody behind. And you're going to realize, okay, that's something I need to work on if I want to move up, because I can't wait until everybody's ready so we can travel together as a pack. Because there's 4 personality types, so 2 are ready to go and 2 are needing to wait. And if you need to wait till everybody's gathered, it's not going to work, right? And if you're a D personality, you'll understand why you get frustrated when people can't make a quick decision, right? If you're a D personality and you're doing a skincare class and you're trying to close and you're sitting with someone who's a C personality who wants to know the ingredients on the miracle set before they buy it, and they want to know exactly how long it's going to last and exactly how much to use, you're going to be like, seriously, just buy the kit. I want to go, right? Like you're going to understand that you're frustrated because you're just a quicker decision maker. So you're going to understand yourself better. So you're going to give yourself a little bit more grace. You're going to understand other people better. So you're going to be able to talk to them. Like if they're German, speak to them in German, right? You're going to be able to talk their language. So you're going to find that you have a quicker connection rate. You're going to be able to move up quicker in our business because you know who you are looking for. Not that any personality type is better than the other, but if you're looking to move up quick, you're looking for women who can make quick decisions and get in it. If you're someone who is looking to move up, right? And you want, to move up quickly, you're looking for D's and I's. There's 2, you operate with these very differently. D's, they're driven, they got the goal, they're going to go for it, no problem. They want independence while they do it, and then just, okay, good job when they're done. I personalities, you're going to have to monitor them because they may be hummingbird over to the next thing before if you don't check in on them quick enough, right? It's just like the kids in kindergarten, your little I personality kindergarten, they've wandered from the water table to the Lego table and it wasn't 15 minutes up yet, so you got to bring them back. And that's kind of how you have to, check on your I personalities and keep them in one spot. This is going to help you too in your family life, because you're going to understand why, especially raising children, you're going to understand why some of them need that security. My oldest, as a young child, needed to know what was coming at all times. So this was the child when we would be going anywhere, get up in the morning and right away you'd want to know what's happening today. So okay, we're going to get up and we're going to have breakfast and then we're going to get you dressed, and for 10 o'clock we have to go to meet our friends at the play group. So we're going to go to the play group and we're going to probably see Lucas, and we're going to see Jacob, and we're going to see Maya, and their mommies will be there too. Okay, and then when we're there, when it's time, we're probably going to eat while we're there, And then I'm going to tell you when it's time for us to get ready to go, and then we're going to go. Okay. And then while we're there, I would have to give that child a 10-minute warning. Okay, we're getting ready to wrap up here. So in about 10 minutes, we're going to go home. So we're going to get your jacket on and your boots on, and we're going to go to the car and we're going to go home, and we're going to see Daddy will be home then. Okay. If I didn't give that warning, and that happened one time, I was with my sister at the mall. We didn't give that warning. I was that mom at the mall. The kid was flipping out to the point, like it was like, oh my gosh, I'm the mom at the mall with the kid that's all over the floor screaming their fool head off because I forgot to say we were leaving soon, and we headed towards the door and there was no warning, and that was just not okay. And it was like, oh man, don't forget to tell that we're going. So raising children or working with grandchildren is important to know the person and personality styles as well. That will change over time. We might start as one, and then as we get more exposure to different people and more education and more, working with different people, you can be more balanced out. So what is your goal as a Mary Kay consultant? Is you want to have an understanding of all 4 types. You want to know what you are and try to work to being a little more even. Okay, so that you're not so high I that you can't get anything done because you lose interest before the job is done. You don't want to be so high C that you need so many details that you can't even get your business started because you don't know the 15th ingredient on the extra emollient night cream. So you can't, feel like you can't do a skincare class. So you want to be more evened out so that you can relate to all people. You can get your job done. It's best to work in an environment where you flourish. So you want to know kind of what your 2 main ones are so you can know how to approach that. And you also want to have good interaction with your director on that. So if you have a director that you work closely with and you find that you do really good at the start, we set up the goals, and then you don't talk to her until the next unit meeting. But by Tuesday, you've already forgotten what the goal was, and you're just having so much fun telling everybody about the new product launch that just came out, and you forgot that you were supposed to set that out. You might have to talk to your director about, can we just have a little bit of, catch up in between the week before the next meeting comes, because I sometimes feel like I go off track. Knowing what you need to keep you on track. All right. It's not bad to ask for what you need, ladies. Understanding who you are and loving all the parts of you is important. We have all these different parts of us because it makes us efficient, and it makes us well-rounded, and it's just who we are, and we love it for all of it. But there might be some things that you're like, I need to work on that a little bit. I knew for me, I had to hold down my I a little bit and be a little more D at times so that I could get things done. And then, it just seemed to work better. And the longer you're here, the better, the more evened out you are. All right. Any questions? Okay. I encourage you to go do the test. I will, like I said, I'll put it up on my page, and then I'll get it to the other directors so they can use it. And take it, but try to really just do first thought. Don't overthink it. C's and S's, don't overthink it. It's okay. You can't be wrong. And see where you're at. Keep it somewhere so that 6 months, a year, 5 years down the road, you can go back and do the test again and see how much you've grown. All right. It might just be something that's going to help you be more well-rounded and more able to relate to people. And then it probably will explain a lot of your friendships as well. You tend to hang out with those that you're most like. So you can tell at seminar, hey, Lori, I can just see Lori. At seminar, you can tell because there's the crowd, a group of people that are all like, and hugging on each other. Oh, there's the I's. And the C's are already sitting in their seats waiting for everything to start with their notepad ready because they're going to take notes. The S's are just walking around smiling at everybody, just happy to be there. And the D's are all like, well, I got to find her because I want to know this, because I want to hit this goal by this time. And so they go there with a mission looking for someone who can help them find the answer that they need to get the job done. And so it's really fun when you study this to be able to look at every situation and be like, oh yeah, that's why They do that. That's awesome. All right. It also will help you in guiding others. And that's what we want here. We want you ladies to move up, move on, help inspire others. And the more that you know about people, the more effective you'll be in that and the quicker you can move. All right. So thank you for being on here tonight. I always love these nights, and I thank you for joining us for wherever you are. It's really cool to be from so many different places. Did any of my friends on here keep track of who's on here for the draw? No. Okay, I'm just going to quickly write your name down so I can send. Rosemary, did you get your prize from last time that I sent you? Oh, there's so many of you. This is awesome. All right, in the comments, I want to know your takeaway, or you can come on here and tell me what your takeaway is. Why was it important that you were here tonight, and what did you hear that's going to make a difference for you?
I love how you said that it's important to try stick with the certain personality types for your meeting or for your teams, for your team members, and how then you also said that you like to have a member of each personality type on your team. I think that's true because each person brings something different. We're all not the same personality type on this call, so
Right.
right, and it helps. So I love these meetings. Thank you.
Thank you. Who else has something? What's your takeaway?
It's definitely true that our children, it's a good way to recognize certain traits in our children. I've learned to recognize a few of these in me. I think I'm a little more balanced. Well, I know I'm a little more balanced than I used to be, because at some stage of my life, I have always been one of those, sometimes a mixture, but it varies per situation.
Yeah, and it also very much varies in, actually, you can kind of tell your main trait when sort of like crisis hits. If something happens and you need quick, like, that's when you can kind of tell who you are, because the D's will take over and take charge. The C's and the S's are sometimes the ones that will freeze. The S's will be making sure that everybody's okay. Like, you can kind of see that. So like you say, it's important to have all those different things, and you are different things in different groups. So when I'm with, as a director, and I'm the director in the room, and there's no other directors, I will be more D, and take charge and all that sort of thing. But if I'm in a group of directors, I will find that often I, kind of pull back and assess the crowd and see where it is. It's funny, when Raven was putting this group together, in some situations I find that I'm very D and that. And then when Raven was putting this group together and she was talking about what she was looking for group, she was like, and then there's Angie, she's just the loving one who just, sort of takes it. I'm like, oh, that's what you see. Awesome. Okay. Like, it's just cool to see how you show up in different situations. And I think that's good. You might show up in your family one way, taking more of those, and you might show up in your social setting a different way. In your work life might be a different way, and that's good. It's good. And you kind of, step in where you need to.
I think it also helps us to understand why we react the way we do to certain people.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
I think it also.
Thank you very much.
You're
Sorry.
welcome.
It just shows that I think we all have to be flexible and adaptable. You can't be just one thing all the time, because that's hard for people at times too. I think if you don't know how to flesh it out with individual people, I think you might be stuck. So I learned a lot, and I don't know what I am, but I'm a bit of everything.
Yeah, and we all are a bit of everything. Oh, yeah, it'll be cool for you to take the test and be like, oh.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. I laughed a lot.
Oh, good. Anybody else?
It was really good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm just gonna say we are a bit of everything, and so I find For me, when I took the test, I try to think of myself in one situation for every question. And then if you want to see what you're like in other situations, then think of yourself in that situation and answer all the questions to see.
Awesome. All right.
Angie,
Anybody?
I'd like to say this too from somebody that's starting out in the business a little later in life. I find that, I'm one of these people that did this on In Touch, by the way, on Link and Learn.
Okay.
But so I found it really, really interesting. But I'm a teacher, and so I've done some of this in my career and my studies and everything as well. But it's so different learning it from your presentation than it is just reading it, in the Link and Learn site. It's so different, and you get such a different take on it. But the thing that came to me as I was doing the Link and Learn, but more so when you were doing the presentation tonight, is how I used to be so much more like that when I started teaching than I was when I finished, when I retired from teaching, and how I used to be so much more like that as a mom than I was when my kids grew up. And so you absolutely do. And of course, we all know that generally we mellow with age, as we get older, we mellow. And I guess what mellow means is that we just switch our balance in our personality traits. It's really interesting, pretty awesome.
I agree. And I think too, part of it too, as we get older, we've got the school of hard knocks that has taught us a lesson or two. And so it's something that has taught us, okay, in that situation, I maybe should have done this a little bit differently, so we can mellow because we've been there before. We've learned what works, what doesn't work. Even if you don't know any of this, you just know how sometimes when you talk to certain people, if you say it this way, you're going to get further than if you say it that way, right? And that's just, I think that's why we mellow as we get older, because we learn as we go, especially lifelong learners, especially women like you that are on this call tonight, clearly want to be more and do more. And so you're willing to pick up on things that maybe aren't comfortable, especially if it's an interaction that didn't go so well, you don't want that to happen again. You're willing to learn what you need to so that that doesn't happen again. And so like you say, you mellow as a parent, you mellow as a teacher, you mellow, as you go, because you realize, is this worth the fight? Or is this worth the conflict? Or is this do I need to be right here? Or can we all just be right? Because we all have a different perspective, right? And it's, yes, thank you. Anybody else?
I found it extremely helpful, Angie, especially I think more as it relates to understanding the clients. I too am new to Mary Kay selling it, but this week in past, I was kind of laughing as I was listening to you go through this, especially the C-type client, because I actually dealt with a very strong C-type personality this weekend. And I found it to be really annoying, she had to know everything about the product. But now, listening to your presentation, I'm like, really, that's just, and I was really kind and gentle and approached it very professionally with her. But I did find it annoying when I got off several calls. But now I just understand, that's just her personality type. So she just needed to know the facts more than I would. More than I would need to know, so that was awesome. I really liked it and I appreciate it. And thank you very much for the session.
You're welcome. And when you have people like that are very different than you, especially when it comes to C personalities and they want all the details, that's where our Mary Kay In Touch site is so amazing. Our product fact sheets are incredible. So if you have a customer that is very C, when she buys a new product, print off the fact sheets for that product and put it in her bag, and she'll be like, she'll probably start a folder and have it ready so that if she ever wants to look back and refer to it, it'll be there, right? So
totally. That's what she needed, and that's what she has now, and she's very happy with it. And
exactly.
You're totally right.
And if you notice in our catalog, if you look in our lookbook, the company has set it up so that all personalities are engaged, right? They give quite a bit of detail in product description for a catalog, really. They have nice, bright, shiny, pretty pictures for some of those. They have bullet points with bold print for the D personalities who would just want to get to it. And they capture the whole product line, so the S's feel like, you know, everybody's included, right? And so that's what you kind of want to do. Even when you're setting up, say, a display for a trade show, keep all 4 personalities in mind. You want to have information there available for the people that want a lot of detail. You definitely want eye-catching things for the C person or for the I personalities. You want for people to come up to the table to know what you're about. So for D personalities, it's like if you say you're doing a bridal show and it's like, I provide wedding day makeup on a sign. They like that because it's okay. That's what they're about, right? You know, things like that. So just keeping all of those in mind as you're doing that. Even when I'm doing promotions and setting up things for my team, promotions and things, I keep all personalities in mind so that all of my prizes and promos aren't based on one personality type, because then the rest don't really feel like they're included or that it's important or that they want to go for it. So it just spills over into everything. Awesome. All right, Nadia, are you still here? I don't see her. I do see Lori though. Lori, do you want to unmute? I'm going to get you to pick. I want you to pick a number between 1 and 27.
I make my son do this sometimes. Let's go with lucky number 13 because the 13th is Mary Kay's 57th anniversary.
Okay, and bottom or top?
Oh, bottom? I don't know what that means.
Vanessa, you are the winner. So I write all the names down, Lori, and I number them. And then if you say bottom, then I count from the bottom up. And if you say top, then I count from the top down. So Vanessa, I feel like I've sent you a present before, Vanessa. Have I not? Where are you? I can't see you. Where is she? Anyways, message me and I'll make sure that I get your address. All right. Thanks for being on, ladies. Thanks for learning. Thanks for keeping us going here. We appreciate you. We love what you're doing. You do make a difference in all that you do in Mary Kay. Moving up and sharing the product, sharing this business opportunity and connecting with others is going to get you everywhere you want to be. So thank you for being on, and we will see you again next week at this time. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.